What is up, you guys? This is Ricky 5 Cent 2 Return a Chance, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys some cards that I'm going to be picking up from Darkwing Blast. Darkwing Blast releases next week, which means pre-sales are already up, as you can see on TCG Player. I would say wait for these prices to drop because they're pretty high. Also, bear with me, this is my first time using my webcam in months, and there was an update on the program I'm using, so I'm going to need some time to figure that out, so bear with me. But we're going to be actually switching over to YGO Daily, because YGO Daily has pictures of the cards I'm going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's start with the next one. So first card I'm going to be picking up is World Sea Dragons Atlantis. Reason I'm picking this up is because it's just a generic Link 4 that you could put in any deck. Kind of generic just because you can't really make this like you would a regular Link monster. You use, as you guys know, one effect monster with this, so basically another Link 4, but it is kind of splashable. So these I'm trying to pick up between like $5 to $10 to try to make a profit. I guess if you're playing with it, $12 isn't too bad, but don't expect to make too much of a profit for that. Next card we're going to be talking about is Tier Element Ruled Kalos. So this one is like one of those cards that I'm kind of 50-50 on, because it is a Tier Element. It is a Tier Elements fusion monster, which we will see a lot of, like December when we get Tier Elements at Shizu. But the reason I'm saying I'm like kind of skeptical on this one is because Predaplant Dracostopelia is basically the one we make right now with Kit Kalos and the other Tier Elements monster. So I don't know if this will replace it right away. Because of that, it might go down to like maybe $6 to $8. It is a negation for like special summoning, but it really comes down to what you want to summon. Like, you want the special summoning negation, or do you want the effect negation with Dracostopelia? So I'm kind of 50-50 on this one, but I am definitely gonna pick these up, maybe under $10 as well. I feel like these might drop to like $8 at some point. But I don't know the market, so we'll see how it goes. Next card I'm going to be picking up is Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous. So the reason I'm picking this up is because I feel like there's going to be more fusion monsters that use this as material. That's just my player brain. I know there was one released, I forgot what the name of it was. Excuse me. Yeah, I forgot what the name of it was, but there's a fusion monster that uses this material. And I just feel like there's going to be more support for this. I could be wrong, but anyways, I wouldn't mind paying maybe like $13 to $14 on these, just in case they do see like more it does see more play. $30 is a little bit too high. Maybe if when the support does come out, that's more of a reasonable price. But right now, since only like one monster really uses it, I feel like this might come down to like 13, 14. That's when I will pick them up. Maybe 15 if I'm expecting to play with it. Maybe $15 would be nice too. But yeah, hopefully it gets more support. If not, then these are going to tank down because it's not going to really see that much play. But we'll see. Spellbound. So Spellbound is one of those cards that seems really, really good, but it's really like, I guess, techie or gimmicky. But not gimmicky. It's kind of one of those cards that you want to be good, but not as good as it seems. So this was supposed to be the replacement for, I guess, Dimensional Barrier. Unfortunately, Dimensional Barrier is still better because Dimensional Barrier is a lingering effect, and Spellbound only affects the face of monster your opponent currently controls. So that's where, I mean, it does do Link monsters, so that's kind of good, which Dimensional Barrier doesn't do, but I just feel like this is too like it's like it's not as effective as Dimensional Barrier. I mean, once your opponent has like monsters out, I'm pretty sure they already, like, in this format, like for Tier Elements, they use their grave as like fusion material. They fuse in the grave, they don't fuse on the field, so by the time you flip this on them, they already have all their monsters out on the field, so there's nothing really you could do. So that's why I feel like this is going to tank down to maybe like $5, I hope. I just don't see this card being too broken in the current meta. Maybe like in future metas, future formats, it might see some play. but currently I just don't see it being that good. But I am gonna be picking these up just in case. Not at $30 though. I will be probably picking these up at maybe like around. I would feel comfortable paying under $10 for these, maybe $5. But yeah, it's up to you guys. Next card I'm gonna be picking up is Mudcracker from the Underworld. This one I'm probably feel comfortable buying at like maybe $2 at most, $3 maybe. It's a nice Link 2. The structure deck, what is it? Dark World structure deck. Actually, feel like is when this might go up, because it does have an effect that discards a fiend, and Dark World monsters are fiends. So I feel like this is probably one of the links they're gonna run in the deck. I don't know how the Dark World, archetype might do in the meta when it comes out, but if it does do good, I'm pretty sure this will see play in it, and I would rather have my copies than not have them. At $2, $3, I feel like you can still make a profit at. This is probably gonna be like a one of index, so I don't see it going up too high, but I mean it's always nice to have, just to have. Destructive Dharma Karma Cannon. I actually played online against a deck that used this on me, and it was pretty good. I mean, against tier elements, because they fuse, and you could fuse with like face down tier elements. It doesn't really do too much with them, but I mean it's one of those cards that has like really good potential. A lot of decks can't really do stuff with monsters face down unless you're like fusing, but I feel like these might go down to like under $5, and that's where I feel I'm most comfortable purchasing them at. I want to say the good price point would be $3 that it might fall under, but right now it's kind of hyped, and I feel like in the beginning these will start off high and then tank down as the as the hype dies down. So maybe like $3 to $4 is where I recommend picking these up. But it does have potential, not currently in the meta, but it will have its day in the meta, I feel. Alright, so next card we're going to be talking about is Cashier Fenrir. Basically, people are calling this like the Pancratops 2.0 or whatever. And it banishes a card your opponent controls if your opponent activates a monster effect. I'm pretty sure we know what it does, but these are pretty hyped right now, so 45 is too high of a price point to pay. I would feel comfortable paying around $20 to $25 for these, because you do run this at 3, and it's very splashable in like different decks. You don't just have to run into Cashier archetype. It's a really good going second card. So at $20-$25, I feel like it's a good price point for these. Maybe if the deck does see a lot of competitive play later on, it might bounce back up to the $45 price point. But at release, I think $20 to $25 is what I feel good paying for it. Next card we're talking about is Cashier Unicorn, part of the Cashier archetype as well. I think $10 is a good price point for this. It's not as good as Fenrir, but I feel like it has like its uses as maybe like a side card or something for going second. So this one lets you see a card from your opponent's extra deck and then banish it face down, right? When this card declares an attack, or if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish one monster from it face down. So I feel like that's really good knowledge for the player. Having an advantage and knowing what your opponent is playing is really crucial. So $10 for me was a good price point for this. I feel like these might be going up as well to maybe like $15 or something. But because I'm going to play with them, I don't mind paying $10 for these. I would say get some copies at $10 or under to make the most profit out of them. These could potentially be maybe like a $15 card someday. Next card we're going to be talking about is Blackwing Suji the Phantom Glimmer. So this card, I feel like people might be ignoring because it is a Blackwing monster, and Blackwings aren't, meta. But if they do see some play, this card has potential to go up. I've seen a couple deck lists and like seen a couple plays and seen what they could do, and this is what people run 3 of because it starts off some of their plays. So if these are like at $1 or $2, I would say pick them up. If you're gonna play with them, I guess $3 isn't that bad. It's not too expensive compared to like other stuff in the set. So $1 or $2 if you're trying to make the most profit. 3 is fine if you're gonna play with it. All right, so the last two cards I'm gonna be talking about is Bysteel Druisworm and Bysteel Magnahut. So I'm gonna be putting these under the same like category just because they both like serve the same purpose. They both act as extra copies of DD Crow in the side deck. For the upcoming for this format and the upcoming format with Tier Element and Shizus, we both know that's the top deck. So we're gonna want to have more copies of DD Crows to be able to banish that Tier Elements monster. At $3, I guess if you're gonna play with them, buying your playset under like at $9 isn't that bad. This one I'm gonna wait until it comes down to like $3 maybe. But if you're trying to make the most out of it, probably for profit, $1 or $2 is what I wouldn't mind paying for these. I feel like these do have potential to go up later on in the future. Light and dark are kind of both like, well, dark basically is like a popular like archetype, so not archetype, popular attribute. So I mean, there's always potential for these to like be coming in and out of the format. I'm not gonna be investing in the secret rare just because the secret rare is a bit too high for me, and unless you're playing, I guess, like a pure Bysteel archetype, I feel like there's no need for them. So just these two for now. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the cards I'm picking up from Darkwing Blast. Let me know what you guys think about the set of what cards you guys are thinking about picking up. These are just cards that I done some research on and I feel are pretty good and might go up in value someday. I don't know everything. This is just my opinion. So buyer beware. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, go follow us on Instagram at Return of Chans. I started doing more market watches on there, which I might start doing here on YouTube as well, just to get some viewers on here. But yeah, this is Ricky 5 Cent, and we'll see you guys next time.